Champions League is back. Guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today, welcome to my round of 16 first leg predictions. It has felt ages, but finally the Champions League is back. The road to Wembley is officially here, so let's get into the video. Of course, the first game is from Parken Stadium in Scandinavia in Denmark. It is FC Copenhagen versus Manchester City. Now, if you told me Copenhagen were going through to the round of 16, I'd chop your hand off. I've been saying, I'm probably not the only person, because I think no one was expecting Copenhagen to go through, to finish above Manchester United and Galatasaray. I mean, for a club like Copenhagen, it's quite impressive for them. But tonight will be tough though, because City, they're a very good side. City, they haven't lost a game since the 6th of December. They haven't lost a game ever since then. City. So Copenhagen probably already know that this game is going to be very difficult for them tonight. But City probably think this is going to be a tough game for them, because Copenhagen at home in Europe, they've given Galatasaray a good game because they've beaten them. They beat Manchester United and they drew with Bayern. And City know themselves, because obviously they visited Parken last season and they drew 0-0. And I'm sure Copenhagen, the players, will give City a tough game, and the fans, they'll be as loud as possible. Tonight will be very tough for Man City. And all these City fans are thinking, oh, we should be winning at least 4-5-0. Maybe you probably should, because you're champions of England, you're champions of Europe, and you're champions of the world. Maybe City should be winning at least 4 or 5-0, but will they? Probably not. Because going to a ground like Parken, the home of FC Copenhagen, is not going to be an easy game for Man City. I'm calling that now, Man City fans. It is not going to be an easy game. Because Copenhagen at home, they're very good. I think City will win anyway. I don't think it'll be like 6-0. I'm going to go Copenhagen 1, Manchester City 3. I think City will win, but Copenhagen, they'll give it all they have. And now we are heading from the Parken Stadium. We're now heading to the Red Bull Arena in Leipzig, as the other game tonight is RB Leipzig versus the godfathers, the kings of this tournament, Real Madrid, the team that has won the Champions League / European Cup 14 times. 14. It's just unbelievable, to be honest. But Real Madrid, they are without a main man. Jude Bellingham is not with the Real Madrid team tonight. He got injured in their 4-0 win against Girona on Saturday, so he will not be available for this game. But Bellingham, he should be back for the second leg at the Bernabeu. But that's it's not kind of. It is a big loss for Real Madrid, because Bellingham at the moment is ripping La Liga apart at the moment. And Leipzig, they're probably glad Bellingham's not playing. But one man who is cooking so far this year for Real Madrid is Vinicius Jr. I think he's doing really, really well this year. He's getting loads of goals, he's getting loads of assists, and he's putting in consistently at least 9 out of 10 performances. I mean, that game on the weekend for Real Madrid against Girona, big win for them in the La Liga title race. Of course, Leipzig, they've only won 1 out of the last 5, so the favourites are obviously Real Madrid. But Leipzig, I'm sure they'll want to give Real Madrid a tough game. Leipzig, they did win the last time Real Madrid visited the Red Bull Arena. Leipzig won 3-2, so they could do it again maybe. But, I mean, Leipzig, they've got to put in, Leipzig, they already know this, they've got to put in a good performance, because going to the Bernabeu is not easy. So Leipzig, they want to get as many goals as possible. They want to not concede as many, so they can go to the Bernabeu thinking, to be fair, even if it's like 1-0 to Real Madrid, 2-1 to Real Madrid, 3-2 to Real Madrid, Leipzig will be like, lads, we still have a chance. But yeah, I mean, prediction, I think Real Madrid will win this game. I'm going to go with a 3-1 away win for Los Blancos. Okay, then moving on to the games tomorrow. And the first game is from the Stadio Olimpico. It is Lazio against Bayern Munich. Now, Bayern, I watched them on the weekend with Cody on stream as they lost 3-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. And I'm not going to lie, Bayern were very, very terrible. But to be fair, they did rest players like Thomas Müller. This was Bayern starting 11 against Leverkusen. Neuer, Upamecano, Dyer, Kim Min-jae, Mazraoui, Pavlovic, Goretzka, Sasha Boy, Sane, Musiala and Kane. On their bench, they had Kimmich on the bench. They had Müller on the bench. They did have some of their regular starters on the bench. So maybe Thomas Tuchel was resting them for the game in Rome tomorrow. But honestly, Bayern, they were really poor against Leverkusen. Leverkusen, I thought they absolutely battered Bayern. I thought they were the better team for the whole game. And Bayern, they were just poor. And Tuchel will be wanting a response in this big game in the Champions League. Of course, Bayern, last time they visited the Stadio Olimpico, they won 4-1 against Lazio. But that was in the COVID season where there was no fans. But with fans, maybe it might be a bit different. But Lazio, been very disappointing this season in Serie A. 8th place. They are only a point behind Roma, who hold the final European spot. But they are 41, 42. But they are 5 points off the Champions League spaces. In the league, Lazio have just been a bit disappointing, haven't they? They are in the semi-finals, I think, of the Coppa Italia. They are a bit so. Cup-wise, they've been decent this season. Of course, Lazio, their last game in the Champions League, obviously, was that last group game where they lost 2-0 to Atletico Madrid. Lazio in the group stages, it was a bit meh. Of course, they played 6 games, won 3, drew 1 and lost 2. So Lazio, they were decent, they were okay, but this, it is going to be a tough game because Bayern are a very, very good side. And Tuchel, of course, will be wanting a response after that disappointing result in Leverkusen on Saturday. I think Bayern Munich will win. I'm going to go 2 goals for Harry Kane. And it's going to be Lazio 1, Bayern Munich 3. Okay, then the next game is from Paris and the Parc des Princes. It is Paris Saint-Germain of France against Real Sociedad of Spain. Again, don't think really anyone was expecting Sociedad to go through, but here they are. Sociedad, they have been struggling recently. No wins in their last 4. They got 3 draws and a loss. Of course, draws all their draws were actually 0-0. 0-0 draw against Vallecano, 0-0 draw against Girona, and a 0-0 draw in the Copa del Rey against Mallorca, of course. Sociedad did lose 1-0 on the weekend to Osasuna, but, this will be really tough for Sociedad with the first leg being at the Parc des Princes. Because you've got the PSG Ultras with the tifos, the flares, the pyros, constant singing. It's going to be very difficult for Sociedad. PSG, I did watch them on the weekend. They beat Lille. They did rest the likes of Marquinhos, Mbappe, Donnarumma, probably for this game, to be honest. PSG, I think they should be winning this game, but Sociedad, obviously, they will put in 100% effort because they want to go into that second leg in San Sebastian thinking that they have a chance. But for me, I think PSG, I think this game's going to be over in the first leg. I'm going to go 4-0 to PSG. Okay, so that is this week's games done. Now moving on to next week. And we're now moving on to Inter Milan against Atletico Madrid. It's probably the standout tie of the round of 16, to be honest. And I'm quite looking forward to it. Inter, they are top of Serie A. They've only lost 1 game this season in the league. And Inter, they are just brilliant at the moment. They haven't lost a game since losing to Bologna in the Coppa Italia. Because their last Champions League game was a 0-0 draw at San Siro against Real Sociedad. Because they are taking on another Spanish opposition in Atletico Madrid. Atletico, they've been doing decent this season. They're 4th in La Liga. Only in the top 4 on goal difference. They're tied on points with Athletic Club or Athletic Bilbao, however you want to know them as. But this will be a good game in my opinion. Of course, Simeone, Atletico, they were decent in the group stages, so were Inter as well. This will be a tough game to predict because Atletico, they've got, obviously, Griezmann's cooking at the moment. They've got a good team, Atletico, but so do Inter. And I've heard that I think, is it Zielinski signing? I'm just going to double check. I heard they are signing Peter Zielinski in the summer. And they're also signing Mehdi Taremi as well. So that's two good additions to the Internazionale team going into next season. But for me, I think Inter have the advantage with the game being at San Siro, the atmosphere. Inter fans will be behind the team. They'll make it difficult for Atletico, but I'm sure the Atletico fans who are travelling out to Madrid, to Milan even, they'll try and make as much noise as possible. They'll get behind the team. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Inter. Not tie over. Obviously, well, it just depends what happens if Inter dominate. But yeah, I think Inter will win this game 2-1. Okay then, and the next game is PSV Eindhoven versus Borussia Dortmund at the Philips-Stadion. Now PSV, they are top of the Eredivisie, and just like Bayer Leverkusen, PSV has not lost, well, not in all competitions, but PSV in the league, they haven't lost a single game in the Eredivisie this season. So Dortmund will find it tough, but I did watch Dortmund. Not recently, but recently actually. I did watch a bit of their game against Freiburg, and one man who stood out for me was Donyell Malen. I thought he was very, very good. Of course, Nicholas Füllkrug was decent as well. I thought Dortmund defensively were very, very good. But this will be very tough for Borussia Dortmund because they do have another game before this game. They are taking on Wolfsburg on Saturday. Then it is the game against PSV. Of course, PSV as well have another game before this. They are taking on Hercules before they play this game against Dortmund. They could be, PSV could go through here. The second leg is at Signal Iduna Park. Of course, Dortmund will have the advantage in that game. But PSV, I think, being at home, they have the advantage. The crowd, they'll be behind the team. And PSV as well. They're doing really, really well at the moment. They really, really are. And they'll give Dortmund a game. Home and away, they'll make it tough for Dortmund. They really will. And I'm going to go with a draw for this first leg. I just think Dortmund will find it tough going to the Philips-Stadion. So I'm going to go PSV 2, Dortmund 2. Okay, then the final two games. And the first one is from the Estadio de Dragao. It is FC Porto against Arsenal. Now, Porto, they normally do go through at this stage, but this will not be easy for Porto. Arsenal, they've just hammered West Ham 6-0. Of course, Arsenal, they take on Burnley before this game in Portugal next week, which Arsenal will probably win. So Arsenal, I think at the moment, confidence will be high going into this game at the Estadio de Dragao. But just saying the name of the stadium, Estadio de Dragao, Dragao for dragon. Porto kind of named the stadium to, make it feel the opposition, make the opposition feel like, oh damn, this is going to be a hard game. But Porto, they are third at the moment in Liga NOS. They are only not as much, but only a little bit behind Benfica and Sporting Club de Portugal. But Porto, they actually lost on the weekend 3-2 against Alicante. They are up against Estrela de Amadora before this game against Arsenal on Wednesday. Arsenal, looking at that game against West Ham, there was no Jesus. Jorginho was on the bench. There was no Zinchenko. I don't know if them players will be back for this game, but I think Arsenal will probably get the job done. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 away win for the Gunners. But vamos Porto, vamos. And the final game of the first leg in the round of 16 of the Champions League is from the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, named after the legend himself, Diego Maradona. It is Napoli versus Barcelona. Of course, Maradona actually played for both of these teams. He played for Napoli and he played for Barcelona. So yeah, but I mean, what has happened to Napoli this season? Of course, they won Serie A last season. They dominated the league. Of course, they lost Luciano Spalletti to the Italy national team. They had Rudy Garcia from Al Nassr. He got sacked. They got Walter Mazzarri at the moment, and yeah, it's been a very disappointing league season for Napoli. But I did watch Napoli on the weekend. They lost 1-0 to AC Milan, but Napoli were very, very good against AC Milan. I don't know how they didn't score. They had so many chances in that game, and I thought Napoli were the better team. And even though Napoli lost, I think the fans who travelled to San Siro on Sunday, I think they should be proud with their team's performance. Because I think they played very well. Of course, Napoli, they have another game before they to take on Genoa on Saturday. For me, I think, is it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. I mean, if Napoli play like that against Milan, they'll beat Genoa quite comfortably. And I mean, if they can win the game against Genoa, they'll be feeling, right, lads, we can have a great chance of winning this game against Barcelona. But Barcelona, of course, Xavi did announce that he is leaving Barcelona at the end of the season. I'm sure the Barcelona players will want to go far in the tournament and potentially even win it with Xavi's last season. But Barcelona, they drew 3-3 with Granada on the weekend. Not the best result considering Granada are in the relegation zone. But of course, Barca, they take on Celta Vigo on Saturday, and I'm sure Barca, they'll want to win that game as they know this game is upcoming. But for me, one player who is shining with Barcelona at the moment is the 16-year-old Lamine Yamal. That guy is just cooking at the moment. The guy is the same age as me. Lamine Yamal is 16. 16. I mean, it's just incredible to literally like Luke Littler in the darts. That man is just unbelievable. I mean, very underrated at the moment. I think is he Spanish? It sounds a Spanish name anyway. Yeah, I mean, this is his most recent games. 2 goals against Granada. I mean, look at his stats. Look at match rating as well. 9.0, 7, 7.2, 7.6, 8.6, 8.1, 8.6. The man is cooking at the moment, and I'm sure he'll cause the Napoli defence some nightmares. Napoli, they'll be glad because Victor Osimhen is back from the AFCON. I'm sure he's devastated because obviously Nigeria lost in the final to Ivory Coast. I mean, of course, congratulations to Ivory Coast, by the way, and of course, commiserations to Nigeria in that final. But Barca, going to Naples will be tough, but I think the way Napoli are doing at the moment, I think Barca should be winning, and I think they will win. But if Napoli win, I won't be that surprised. But yeah, I think Barca will win. So I'm going to go Napoli 1, Barcelona 3. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Smash like, subscribe, and I'll see you for the second leg predictions.